I'm Patrick Bailey with iQlist.com. Today is July 11th, 2019, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to print infinite chain lengths on your Prusa i3 Mark III printer. Okay, so what's going on? So I'm buying a house. In fact, I'm closing on it next week. So in order to buy this house, I'm getting a loan. Now, I've been debt-free for how many years now? 6 years? Big Dave Ramsey fan. Don't like debt. Not that debt is good, but if you're a Dave Ramsey fan, you know that a home loan is kind of an acceptable debt, but we don't want that. But I want to teach my children that debt is not something that you want to strive for. And so what I've decided to do, and I decided this a while ago, is I wanted to print out 3D printed chains to represent the debt. And so each chain link is going to represent a certain amount of our debt, in this case, $1,000 each. And so what I had thought is it'd be fun to figure out how to print chains, and then also to actually print numbers on the chain or different kind of text on the chain. So what I did is I found some OpenSCAD examples on Thingiverse to actually print 3D chains. And in order to get a number of chains, they kind of spiral. You only have so much room, but they kind of spiral to an angle. And so I took their text, took their example, tweaked a little bit, did my own, and added text. And so if you go on Thingiverse, you'll see here it is, Thingiverse 3284739, and I'll put a link to the show notes. So that's mine. And I have a video before where I showed how to do it, and you can put the text on it. And I'll put a link there to that too here. And also, I've also put it on Prusa, because now I'm starting to put things on Prusa too, and it's 4355 chain generated with text. So it's on the Prusa printer org site too. But just to show you kind of what it does, here I've got these thing files, and there's the OpenSCAD files. And so I just added another one, because what I have is, because of the size of these, I can only print so many. So I can probably realistically print at this size, maybe 10 or so. What I've been choosing to do is do 5 at a time. And so let me open up OpenSCAD just to show you guys. Boom. So here I have, if you download this and you want to fiddle with it, I have 2 OpenSCAD files. There's the main one that I had there before, which you can kind of change the length and size and diameter of the chain itself. So you can tweak with those numbers. But then down here, what you can do is you can do a couple of things. You can create, what I wanted to do was text. I want to put numbers on there. So I can do 1 through 5, and that creates a text and an array of text. And I can hit create here, render, I should say. And what it'll do is it'll render those such a way that those chains are at a 45-degree angle, and also they have text in them. In this case, it has number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I go over a lot more of that in the video. I just wanted to show it real quickly here. As it renders. Oh, there we go. So you can see right here, there is a number. 1. There's number 2, number 1, 2, 3, and you can see how they kind of keep going to the end. Also, if you're interested, you can watch this other video. You can change that number to text. So like I have here, example, your text here. You can uncomment that, tweak it. You can watch the other video. You can put whatever text you want on each individual chain. But the problem comes in is, how do I link them? So I came up with a couple of ideas, and what I have done, first of all, what you're going to need if you want to make really long chains. Also, you can comment out the text. You can just have chains with no text. That's possible. That's easy to do on that too. But I also have another thing on here, which is the chain generator with a single chain, and I have it right here. And so what this does is I simplified the code here. You can put text or not put text. And what it does is it renders the chain just upright to give us the most possible room to hook the other chains onto it. So the idea is you print it up to the top before it closes over, then you attach the 2 other sides, and you let it close over. And so I got that successfully working, but the bigger and bigger the chains get, the more you have it draping off the side. And I was worried that it would get caught in the gearing. It might fall down and get stuck. So what I have done, here are my notes. So I wrote some notes on an idea to help me hold the chains. And so what I've thought of is, here I've got a little example here. So the idea is I'd make a little flat piece with a bunch of screw threads in it with a magnet on the end. So it would magnet to the board, a magnet to the plate here, and it would act as something that I could tie stuff down. And also make like a little tray. I'd make a screw and some bolts. And so I could guide the extra chain pieces away from the side of the board so it's not going to fall in and they're not going to jiggle too much. And so that I could keep adding more and more chains. And you can see it's worked pretty successfully. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll show you the actual chain idea I have, show you where the files are, because I'm going to upload them to Thingiverse and Prusa for you guys to download. And the idea is this tool helps with chains to tie stuff, keep stuff stable on the board, but also it's something, it could be a modular tool you could use for other things to kind of, midway through a print, you could use it to maybe stabilize some pieces. So it could be used for other things. I could see myself using this for other things. But anyway, let me get to the actual file and show you what I made. Okay, let me just show you in action, and then afterwards, I'll kind of go over the details on the print and where it's on Thingiverse and Prusa Control, Prusa printers. Anyway, so here we are. First, I need to make the single connecting link. So the connecting link I actually need is number 24. So I'm going to take my code, my single chain, update this to 24, run this to generate it. And you'll see there I've got my 24. So now I'll save this as an STL file. And I'll put it on my desktop. I'll say 24 chain. And now I'll edit it in Prusa Control and Prusa Slicer. Because now I'm starting to do things in both until we get to the point where Prusa Slicer takes over completely. But I still, I open up Fusion 360. I still like Prusa Control for its simplicity. Prusa Slicer is getting there, but it's still not quite there in my opinion. Okay, now with Prusa Control, in the current iteration, it says a new version out, which is not true. What they really want to do is push you on a Prusa Slicer. So I can just hit no here. And then I'll drop this in here. And there it is. And pretty easy. All I got to do is switch it to 0.2, standard, and generate. Let me close this Fusion 360 I accidentally opened. There we go. So generate. And then what I need to do is put a filament change point in here. So I'll go right up to here. Boom. And I can actually change it right here because this actually is the start of this this height. At this layer, it'll pause. So I can actually do it right where it covers and say save the G code. And put it on my desktop, and we're good to go. But let me do it in Prusa Slicer too. So here is Prusa Slicer. Looks like I already have something open here. So let me go over here and delete this. Okay, so I'll take this STL file, drop it in, Prusa Slicer 2.0. Make sure I'm on simple. And there shouldn't be much to this, so I'll just say slice now. And then I'll have to go down to the same layer. Boom, right there, 33.2. And put in that point there, and then, see there's a little bug here in my opinion. So here, I'm ready to go, but now this slice now down here should be a generate button, and it's not. So I can go over here and say, I can go file, well, it should be, it should be like an export or something. So let me export, there we go, export G-code. And do the same thing, desktop. And they both should be pretty good, but I'm just going to, for right now, I'm going to deal with the Prusa Control one. I'll open up this one. Because if you see my last video, I was talking about sticking the tongue out. So I'm going to go change this M600 down here. The M600 happens to be the line of code where it changes your filament. So you can leave it as is, but in this case, I actually don't need to change the filament. I just want to pause and pause that I can change it out myself. And now, of course, I did not think ahead and actually have it in front of me. Because I don't remember off the top of my head. It's a couple lines of code. Let me get it. Let me go pull another one that I'd edited previously. There we go. So what I'm going to do is copy that and paste this in. So what I do, the M600 is the actual line of code where it's going to change the filament. That's the command to change the filament. And you see what it does. It pauses, it pulls the old filament out, beeps, and you go through that. It doesn't pull the filament out, but it has a button to push, put new filament in, it goes through the whole process. I'm going to put a semicolon in here, and that says, comment this line out. This command will no longer run. And I'll paste these commands in that I've had from before. And this one's just a comment line. So it tells you, I just put that in there. It tells you where I took it from one of the forums. And then here, this is telling it where to go. So it's saying, hey, go stick the tongue out, basically, of the printer. And then it says M1 user stop. So now it's going to stop and wait for me to push a button. And then after I push that button, it'll return a temperature and continue on. So I'll just change it like that, save it. And I should be good to go. So now I'm going to take this file and we'll go print out this single chain and it'll pause. And then we'll use the tools that I made. I'll show you those. And we'll see how it works. Okay, so we got this 24 printed out. So I'm ready to put the other chains on it. And I'll go over these, well, I should go over these now. So here's what I came up with. So what we have here is, first of all, here's this big piece on the bottom, which is got an angle on it, and I'll go into more detail later on in the video. But in here is a magnet. So I have a magnet embedded to help hold things down. Then I have these channels here, just to kind of help guide things away from the print. And then I also have these that screw in, so that I can hook it on. And then I have these, and I kind of put a bevel, I put a convex top to them, so that I can help hold things down. So I'll put both of these on. And the idea is I don't want these big long chains get in the way of stuff. So what I will do, I'll kind of hang those off there. And I'll start to grab these chains. So these are numbered. So I'll go here and I'll find, that's 24, so I'll find, here's the 23. And I will line it up just right, hook it on. And this is going to hook onto one of the chains over here. And I use this to kind of help hold it down. And I'll do the same thing with the other side. That. And see, I only have so much height here, so I gotta make sure I'm okay, and I should be good. But the idea is this keeps the chains away. And so now I should hit it, and we should close over. But see, if I had the chains coming over, they might go down in here and get snagged or hit something, but now they're away. And so there won't be a lot of movement. There's enough jiggling here that having these pulled off to the side does the job. And I've done several of them so far, and it seems to be working just fine. One thing to note, though, is, this is printed in PLA, and so here's another one I printed. It's nice and straight, but over time, since the beds get a little hot, you can see this is kind of melted. So it's kind of bending down. So that's something to think about. So for my purposes, these aren't going to be, I only do so many, so these are they're okay for me to be in sacrificial pieces. Or I bet I could probably take this, put it back on here, and heat it up and maybe flatten it out. But for my purposes, it works, it's okay. But we'll just let that close over, and then we'll take it off. Okay, so it's done now. And so it's easy enough, I just gotta snap that one off, unhook these guys. And I'm one step closer to infinite chains. So there we go. All works. So You can see a little closer. It has, like I said, it has bent over time as it melts off the side, but it's working. So I'll go get the rest of these done now. Okay, so now I've just put these things on Thingiverse and on Prusa. What do we call this? Prusa Printer? PrusaPrinter.org. Their community site. So on Thingiverse, it happens to be thing 3744039. And on Prusa, it's 4397 thermal bed holding tool. And also, I found out this, because I don't like the fact that they stick these names back there. It's nice, but you can just put the number in and it comes up. So, yay. So, quickly, I just want to kind of go over all the pieces, and I can probably go over it through Thingiverse here, because they got the nice little 3D renderings here. Okay, so first, here's the base. So, these are 10 millimeter threads down here, and also this here is empty. This is empty because as it goes up, you can put the magnet in there. And the magnet I happen to be using for here is this neodymium magnet, which I'll put a link to the show notes. Here it is on Amazon. It's powerful neodymium magnets, 1.26 inch by 0.008. That's what I've been using for other projects. It's kind of nice. You do that void. But then you need to, oh man, just upload a cheat code. I need to go remove that. Okay. But you need to put a pause in here. So you need to pause it right at the top so you can actually put that magnet in there. Otherwise, it's kind of pointless. So I need to go fix that code. Okay. But anyway, there's that part. So let's go rework that code here in a second. And then there's this part. The idea was this is your base plate and you can attach things to it. So my first idea for doing these chains was to have this channel here. Let's see if I can do a thing here. So here's this channel, and the idea is, you can see it kind of hooks there at the bottom, and this actually kind of angled at the bottom, so you can slide different things over here, and it's going to kind of hold it on. I made it a little loose, so I can move back and forth. And the next thing here is I have this simple bolt. The simple bolt is for this, so I can put it somewhere I want, and I can, put it on, kind of low, by hand, and hold that on, so then I'm good. And the last thing I made several different taller bolts. And you'll see this is actually reversed from its usage. Let's see if I can, the taller one. There we go. So what I use for mine is I think I have a 15, a 20, a 30, and a 40 millimeter. And so I happen to use a 30 millimeter. For this, it works just fine for my needs. And so I put that, somewhere on here. And that's where I can put my chain over it. And then lastly, I had 3 different nuts on here. I have a concave one, a just flat one, and then I have a convex one here, which is what I'm using to kind of help hold things down. And so you get that on there, and there you go. So overall, that's how I basically get this all together. Oops, wrong one. This one. And it's working. Boom. So this has worked pretty well. So but I just messed something up. So on PrusaPrinters.org, you can add G-code. And I did the G-code real quickly. So I did the G-code for all of these pieces that I used for this. The single bolt, the 30 millimeter bolt, the base, and all the pieces. But what I messed up, I wasn't thinking, this needs a magnet. So let's go quickly and see if I can update the G-code for that. Okay. Do that. Rotate it. 90 degrees. Position it right there. And then slice it. And then I need to put a filament change point. Right. Let's see, almost there. There. So that's the last layer is empty. Boom. Put it right there. That's where I intend to change it. So let me export this. Okay, now let me go back to Prusa, and I think I can do edit. Hopefully. There we go. Okay, put this back to draft, and then I need to remove the one I put in there because I put in, I'm trying to put the G code in so people can actually just download the G code and use it potentially. But I put the wrong one here. There's a 30 millimeter, bolt, hold down nut, convex, thermal bed, holding tool. There we go. That's it right there. So I need to trash that. Right, thermal bed base, yes. Trash that one. And put in the new one. Oh, nope, I just messed it up again. Let me delete it because I didn't change the G code. It does have the change pointer, but I didn't change the G code. Oh, that's a good question. I think I'll leave it that way so it doesn't stick its tongue out, that it'll actually beep at you when it changes. That might be a better way to normally do G code on Prusa. So I'm going to leave it like that. So once it changes, it's going to beep at you, yell at you. You have to go through the whole thing in and out. Versus what I do, it doesn't beep. It'll stick out, but that's, I'm going to leave it that way. I'll leave it that way. So for anyone who wants to, I prefer slicing things myself, but I do like this idea that Prusa is going through where you just download the G code and be good to go, because I can see a future in that. So I'm going to keep supporting that as best I can. Okay, so with that, let's go. So now you get the idea. So it all worked. Here's all the files. They're all there. You can download and print it. But now let me go over all the numbers, because I like to go over the numbers. So first is the base. So the base took me 1 hour and 50 minutes to print. It took 0.015 cents of electricity. It weighs 0.028 kilograms, not counting the magnet. And so at $20 per kilogram, that comes out to 56 cents to print the base. Now you add a magnet in there. The magnet roughly costs about 80 cents per magnet. So that comes out to $1.38 for the entire thing. And if I didn't show it before, I think I did, here is the magnet on Amazon that I'm using. Now for the tray, this guy took 1 hour and 8 minutes to print, took 0.009 cents with electricity, weighs 0.01 kilograms, or about at $20 per kilogram, that comes up to 20 cents. So this takes about 21 cents to print. Then I have my convex nut here. The convex nut was 43 minutes, and it took 7 cents worth of electricity, and it weighs 0.008 kilograms. And so the total on this is 16 cents in material, and the total is 17 cents to print this. The 30 millimeter bolt took 34 minutes to print. It took 0.005 cents of electricity, and it weighs 0.002 kilograms for a total of 0.04 cents worth of material, so for a total about 5 cents. So if you add that all together, it takes about $2.12 to print this, and 6 hours and 31 minutes to print in total, because I need 2 of these. And I need, 2 bolts and everything like that. But I need 2. So in total, it costs $4.24 to print all of these, including the magnets, and about 13 hours worth of print time. And I've been liking it, so I am very happy. I am printing another one out right now. So this has been a big success. I'm actually getting all my chains printed out. So I'm excited this worked out. But also, I think this worked out for me, but I think this tool definitely can be used for these chains, for making infinite chains, but it might be able to be used for other things. There might be other ways you can attach things to this and use this to hold down other things. But definitely really cool. Here's how you can do infinite chains pretty easily on the Prusa i3 Mark III printer. So enough of that video. Hey, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, hey, give it a thumbs down. Also, if you like what we're doing here, subscribe to the channel by clicking the subscribe button. And lastly, have a piece of info to share? Just post a comment.